All right, good evening. We will call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, for agenda adjustments, we have AP warrant number 57 for 116,695.95. We're adding the public hearing alert on the property tax stabilization from the state and our health officer opening. Approval of the minutes from our regular meeting on January 25th.
Make a motion to approve this read. Second.
I have a motion and a second on the minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay. Starting with old business, comprehensive plan update.
It's still coming. You're gonna have something by early March.
Okay. Right, transport copier lease. There's a note in there in our information from Transco to Inge. There is no buyout on the lease. The note here is just that with the machine being 5 years old, eventually we'll have to build the budget back in if we need to replace it. And if something breaks, the cost is on us. So according to that, that makes me believe that the only thing that it covers is our copies a month, and that's it.
But it's saving over $250 a month if we don't sign the lease.
That is correct.
But if something breaks, it's gonna cost us well over $250.
Or we sign a lease at the time and when it
That's
breaks
true.
and go
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah.
That's the other option, is run it as long as it
Yep.
will run, and then when it can't be fixed, we sign a new lease and
Yep.
buy a new copier at that point.
That makes sense.
But we'll just have to, when we do the budget for
Right.
that line item, we'll
Yep.
just have to
Add it.
pad it just to make sure there's some in there in the off chance that we do have to either do any repairs
Have they
or
given us a
replace
quote
it.
on a replacement price?
No. Well, it would be the full lease. It would be the same cost of our normal monthly payment
Okay.
over a 5-year period. Can I get a motion on what we would like to do?
I make a motion that we continue with the current copier at the current rate of $89.88 per month.
I second.
$95.73 per month. Is what it would be.
Oh,
you're
that
right.
would be the
Yes.
service,
Yep.
okay, yeah,
It currently is
Yes.
89.88, but next year it would be 95.73.
I revised my motion to 95.73 versus 89.88.
and I second the revised motion.
I have a motion and a second to move ahead with our current copier and not start into a new lease at this time. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay. All right, on to personnel policy, holiday pay. So we also have a note, excuse me, in here from Rob on his proposed wording change for the overtime pay that we discussed at the last meeting.
Wanna read that?
Okay.
Yeah,
Removal of the last paragraph in the holidays section of the personnel policy and replace it with holiday hours shall be considered hours worked in the calculation of overtime pay. Any hours worked over 40 in a single pay period shall be paid out 1.5 times the hourly wage and applies to any hourly paid employee. I also propose adding a final line in the sick time section Sick hours shall not be considered hours worked in the calculation of overtime pay.
I agree with that.
So I'd like to make a motion to use Rob's words to remove the last paragraph in the holiday section of the personnel policy and replace it with this paragraph here that you just read, Ryan. As well as the sick hours. The sick hours not being considered hours worked and adding that into the policy.
Second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second on updating the overtime pay. The discussion that I would have would be, I would like to see this go retro
That's what I was just
back to
gonna say.
July 1st.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. All right, so I have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve Rob's proposed wording for both the holiday section and the sick time section and make that effective or retro back to July 1st for the employees who it will affect. All those in favor? Opposed? Perfect. Passes. That one off our list.
Yeah.
All right, heating assistance donation wind towers application.
So that's. There is a proposal for use of the application for the heating assistance for the wind towers and can be used for any special assistance that we may have, which took that GA application and along with what Diane's church uses as to determine need for assistance and kind of got it down to one page.
What are you guys' thoughts?
I like it. I like that it asks for the information that I was really looking for, which is, how many people are in the house, what the income is, what outstanding bills they may have, assistance that they're currently getting.
Are we gonna ask for any verification of the income or just taking?
Well, this also asks, like, if there are creditors, outstanding bills, that supporting documentation can be attached to this, which would be proof that there are outstanding bills.
But you're asking.
But what about
You're
verifying
asking
the
for
income?
Correct.
Verify, I mean, that would be easy to verify the income. Just. They could bring in proof of income, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what we should have somewhere on here is that proof of verification of income.
Attach supporting
Right.
documentation as proof needed, including proof of income and proof of outstanding
Mhm.
bills that are listed on here,
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. Yep. But it also looks at history of, assistance received from the town specifically. And all of that, including, where we're taking the money from. And who the money was given to if someone's acting on behalf of the person that's in need. So I think as far as that covers all of those bases.
okay. Yeah, I'm fine with it as long as we add in the
Proof of
supporting
income.
information around income.
Mhm.
I think we can move ahead with that if we add that
Mhm.
line to that.
Yeah. Which I could what I'll do is I'll just take this bullet point that's attached supporting documentation as proof needed underneath the creditors. And just add, copy and paste it under the sources of income
Right.
to attach supporting documentation of income.
Or you could just drop it down Drop
put
it down
together.
another line, remove the star and
Mhm.
just say attach supporting documentation and as proof of need for both
That's right.
creditors and or outstanding bills and income,
Yep, okay,
rather than listing it twice.
Yep.
Put it all in one.
yep, and then I'll just email it out. Are we gonna need to sign this as a group to use, or,
No. it's just a
Okay.
form.
so what I'll do is I'll just update it real quick and then I'll email it out to the board and Angie. I'll email it to you too, Aaron.
Yep.
Um,
Yep, no, it's just a form for internal use, so we can just approve it.
thank you so much, Diane, for,
Form,
Somebody
yeah.
should be.
For
there should
doing
be some
this.
Signature on, so either Angie's or Aaron or somebody should have, when it's approved.
Yes.
yeah, we can add another
Yeah, there should be
signature
a
on
signature
one there.
line
Yeah.
to-
Um,
Just to verify that it was,
Town official
Yes.
signature,
yeah,
because there is approved by the select board and the date of the
Yes.
decision.
Right.
Right,
That we
but-
approved, but a signature line for town official.
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would just say town clerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clerk.
Yeah,
Okay,
because any of the clerk or the deputy can sign it.
okay,
We're just copying in that form because we have somebody who's gonna apply.
yes, yes, I'll take care of this. I got a late day tomorrow. So I can probably take care of it as soon as Bryce is on the bus.
Yeah,
We don't have any other assistance pools beyond general assistance, right? Or this heating assistance pool, and I bet that's it.
that's it.
And Angie's like, you can't get general assistance unless you're being foreclosed upon or evicted. I'm like,
Mhm.
well, that limits what you can do with general assistance funds.
That does.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, and the heating assistance is primarily just for heating. So
I still would like
that,
to see anything that came with that check.
what I was told was it was just a check and no, just a check that said in the number like heating assistance. Which would make sense because that's what we got back when they gave us the donation during COVID. We just received a check from them that said something
Okay.
about COVID benefit or something like that.
Okay.
So I mean, it's possible, we could check.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I'm just curious, I'm just
mhm,
kind of open.
yep. Yeah, Aaron, can you add that to the notes just to check with Angie and see if there was any documentation that came with the wind tower donation around heating assistance, or if it was just the check with the note in the memo. All right, E, town owned land, use forms, letters. Finally, we have it completed
And so,
and signed. So we will need motions for each one.
So, hang on just a second. How do you want me to do this? The name and the lot number
Yep.
or just, okay,
Or
I do them all.
I can read them off either way. If there's not three of us,
I'll do them all at once.
we can, or we can do them separate.
What would you like me to
We
do?
probably should do them separate, that way we have documentation of each individual.
Okay. So I make a motion that we approve Crane Brothers and allow them the use of tax map. U08 lot 12. For agricultural use.
Second,
I have a motion and a second on U08 for Crane Brothers. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, that one's completed.
Make a motion, we approve Carl Looters for the use of tax map U07 lot 29 for agricultural use.
second,
I have a motion and a second for U 729 for our leaders for agricultural use. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, click on that one.
I am motion that we approve the use of U07 lots 13, 15, and 16 by Mark Blanchett.
Did it say what it was for?
No, it's just he uses them in that one.
Second,
I have a motion and a second for 3 lots being used by Mark Blanchett, U7, 13, 15, and 16. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay,
I make a motion that we approve the use of tax map lot U07 lot 2 for Dave Bowen for storage.
second,
I have a motion and a second for Dave Bowen to use for the lot for storage for U702. All those in favor? All right, that cleans up our paperwork on that. We'll have one more that we'll do next week, or at our next meeting. And that should get us caught up. One we still need to discuss when the whole board is here is what we're gonna do with U6 5A
Yeah.
on Pleasant Street.
Rescind.
We will still need to discuss that one.
Yeah.
F, the FEMA Swift Current Grant.
so I emailed Ryan Fisher, who is the FEMA regional point of contact for this grant, and I asked to coordinate an information sharing access agreement to get the PII, personal information, whatever, for those 7 properties. I have not yet received an email back, so I will follow up with that. But there is a deadline, so I will, the deadline's March 15th. I mean, I know we still got a bit,
Yeah.
but if there's anything, any paperwork that those property owners need to do, we want to be able to get them that information in time. Yeah, exactly. So I'll wait Monday. I don't hear back from them by Monday, Tuesday. I'll reach out again, or maybe contact the DHS office and maybe ask for a contact number specifically for that person, because he
Mhm.
was identified as the point of contact.
Okay. Anything else on the Swift Current Grant?
No, so I'm just waiting to get information on what those 7 properties are.
Okay. On to new business. We have a catering application from Boondocks Farm. For the Roaring Twenties party that's gonna be held at the Historical Society on February 17th.
Get your
The-
tickets.
Yep, if you need tickets, reach out to Phyllis. The time of the application is from 4 PM to 10 PM, approximately 75 people is what they're estimating. Everything looks to be there.
Make a motion we approve. Catering license request from the Ducks.
Second,
I have a motion and a second on liquor license. All those in favor? Opposed?
Boondocks Farms as a event venue and a catering operation, fill out a commercial application. A commercial business in the town.
yes,
They should fill it.
I thought they already had.
I thought they
I
did.
thought they did.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, we've never held a
please.
catering on their.
Okay, good to know. 'Cause I was under the impression that
I thought they had.
they went through all of that paperwork,
I'll check with Mary, but I don't think so.
because it's 2 businesses, Boondocks Farm and Backyards Affair.
Backwoods.
Backwoods
I was gonna
Affair.
say something didn't sound right. I couldn't put it
Backyard,
together.
backwoods,
Yeah.
backwoods Affair.
Eight. Easier like BOS than this was. Since you got money.
Oh. What's been moved?
Oh, yeah, I'm 2 years.
I moved to mine after the last, during the last meeting.
Yeah.
All right, on to the water district request letter. So we have a request letter from Canton Water District. Would like to follow through with our early discussion to obtaining the lot referred to above for further development. We're requesting a 99-year lease on the property signed by the trustees and the superintendent for our town loan lot U808 8.1 acres, which is a buyout lot.
My issue with that is according to the buyout agreement, I don't think we can drill, which is what he wants to use that land for.
The FEMA guidelines that we looked at back when Sean first brought the request up. My read of those is we could not drill, because it says no drilling on them.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up that.
Also no structures or anything like that. Before I move ahead with this, I would want to sit down and read that again, and then also have either Sean or the trustees come in so we can talk with them a little bit more about their request.
Do we remember where we found that? Nice little tidbit.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
I have it in an email.
I have it in an email too. I'm looking for it.
Use some, need use some oversight.
I sent one out on 9/1.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Diane, because that was the one I was
Yeah,
looking
That's the one I
for.
have up now that I'm reading.
What's that?
Allowable uses generally do not include wall buildings, levees, dikes, flood walls, blah, blah, blah. Above or below ground pumping and switching stations,
Which is, he'd be
which would
pumping.
be a pumping station.
It would be a below ground pumping station if he's looking for viable water.
That is my read on it as well.
I sent this to him at the same time. He was copied on this. Sean Goodrow.
Mhm.
So. Just. Trying to get some clarity here. What is the actual definition of a below ground pumping station? Because I don't consider my well a pumping station per se, but is that what they're talking about, or? Is it something more in depth?
There's no definition.
Right, that's where I'm hesitant.
Okay. So mhm. No,
And you could write a letter to FEMA and ask one for a specific use approval.
There's gotta be some way to,
It says generally do not include.
Yeah, generally.
And if you can show that you're not disturbing the ground, that there's still room for, water flow, that there's, making the ground impermeable for water to be absorbed. You might get approval, and every time you approach them, that gives them an opening to covenants.
Right.
Right,
And
that's,
like, you kick a sleeping dog, or you just let them sleep? I don't know.
that's my concern.
Sean stopped me, I was walking the other day and we talked about this briefly and I said, are you guys thinking, are you gonna treat that water? And he was waiting for his water quality test to come back. But I said, are you gonna pump it like all the way down into this treatment station? Are you gonna build a new treatment station? What are you gonna do with that? He's like, we think we don't have to treat it. I'm like, well, I'm not drinking water straight out. I don't know, maybe.
We had asked them a couple questions about treating, but then we also asked them about how they were going to pump the water from there out, because there's no pump station down here. So how would they do it? Because they can't build anything.
Right.
And the comment was made back to us at the time. Well, maybe we could do something by the sewer pump station that's on a town-owned lot, not a buyout lot. And we said, you can't build without raising. One, that's a town-owned lot. And you would still have to, whatever you're going to build would have to be up to whatever level it has to be to get it out of the flood.
Mhm.
But, yeah, then there's also. At the time, and I don't know, I would have to talk to Sean to see if they've got any more info. We had asked about what they would do for piping and stuff like that, and at the time they weren't sure.
Mhm.
I think there needs to be a little bit more homework done before I can
Mhm.
sign off on this.
Well, and to answer your question about a pumping station are facilities that contain pumps and equipment for pumping fluids from one place to another. That is the definition of a pumping station.
So you're well would qualify.
So well
Yeah.
would qualify as a pumping
If there's a
station. 'cause you
pump
got a
there,
pump
then-
in it.
Yeah,
I still want to do some more homework before I can.
Mhm.
I agree.
Well, and we would definitely need to get FEMA's approval on, because it says generally not allowed.
Right.
So we would want to know whether or not they would
Mhm.
allow it. But before we go and ask that information, we need to know, how's the water gonna get treated? How's the water gonna get pumped from point A to point B?
And,
Because nothing can be built there.
Right,
and I
that's,
would
Well,
like to
you
know.
can build something that's elevated.
Right.
The water flow.
that's me, right.
I mean, you could have a pipe that comes up and then a platform, whatever you pump thing is on.
Mhm.
Mhm.
and it shoots it somewhere else.
But I
Yeah, it
think,
would just need, it would need to be built up. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Karen.
one of my biggest questions is, where's the funding for all of this coming from?
They've got grant money.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
and I knew he said they were looking at grants, but for me, I would, before we agree to something, I would wanna see something that. There actually is a plan laid out for, like I say, funding it, how it's gonna be transported from one location to the other, to get it to the plant, to get it out in the pipes, how is it all gonna work before we go and sign?
So
Or
it sounds
look
like
at writing
either-
anything for a lease.
We would
A
like
99-year
them to come
lease.
to
Well,
a.
it's like they dug a test well, car leaders dug a test well somewhere over there in that
Yes.
direction, and I don't, he said. I think Sean said he thought it was on the buyout, but I don't think so, I think
He owns land over there,
he dug his test well on his own land.
yes.
But, I know that Sean had also said that they've, got an engineering firm they're working with. I can say Northern Borders or something. I don't written down, but, because they've got asbestos or they have some kind of undesirable material in lines in the pipes themselves, so they're gonna replace a lot of pipes, they're doing a lot of work, and they've got grant monies to do that with.
Yeah.
At the same time, they know they can't continue to use like water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So.
I go back to just drilling everybody their own well.
I'd be okay with that.
It'd be cheaper in the long run.
But the water district isn't part of the town.
I know that.
Well, we're discussing, I mean, I talked to them about where the line ends by the old wheat house
Mhm.
property and what it would take to expand to our land so that we can build those
Mhm.
affordable apartments and stuff. And I've reached out to his engineering company twice and they haven't returned yet.
We,
Talked about what they're using Dirigo Engineering, I believe, for their water
Mhm.
work. And I just, got the name of the guy, called him several times and left messages
Mm-hmm.
saying, hey, I'd like to talk to you about where you are with those plans to see if we can tie in, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We've tried for the past 10 years now to get them to look into getting a grant or something to connect the town office and the fire department to the town water system, and we have made zero progress in it.
I thought that was a piece of what John told me he was doing, but.
Okay, yeah, because we tried way back when
Well, I
Deb
said,
was
let me know
doing
when you guys
stuff.
have your next trustee meeting, I'd love to come sit in.
Mhm.
The
Yeah,
wash tap there, there's all the cars there, I know they're having.
yeah, it's never been posted or anything, because they're.
Yeah.
Yep,
Semi-independent.
that's right. All right, so we will wait for more information.
Yeah.
Right, next on the agenda, we have an email from Rebecca about Pairing Cougars Day.
So. The cemetery crew is taking one group for Pine Road. As usual.
Nice. Is there any, anything on, town properties that we could,
Robin was gonna talk to, cause Olaf was gonna take a group on the
Last year.
trail last spring, but then it got flooded, so. Depending on the status of the trail at that point,
Yeah,
cause that's a
that's a
possibility.
hard one.
It is a very hard one.
yeah.
Yeah.
There is
This time of
one,
year.
one tilted bridge
Yeah.
on the trail right now.
Man, we're gonna need an excavator to go through there.
Well,
But
I got half of a tree off the other bridge.
I saw that.
did you do the Evo?
Oh, I thought I was going down with the bridge. That bridge shook so much and I'm like, oh, no.
You were not doing this alone, were you?
No,
Okay.
I had three little ones looking at me.
Let us, somebody know where you are, what you're doing.
No, there was another adult there. Taking pictures. Oh, boy.
So should we put that out there for if there's like any elderly people that need yard work or something?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
You know, that, cause I think that that would be something good, or, I mean. Storm cleanup.
Yeah.
Anybody needs storm cleanup.
Mhm.
Could you condense that a little bit, Aaron, and put it on the town page?
Yep.
If there's any, it doesn't have to be elderly citizens, if there's, you know, citizens that need.
Yep, if there's anybody that needs anything listed in there or others, they can reach out to Rebecca and make a plan.
Yeah.
Great idea. The other thing we have is a notice of a public hearing from the state for the public tax stabilization.
There it is.
So it says here as a result, cost for reimbursing municipalities for the tax loss attributable to taxpayers' participation in the property tax stabilization program has exceeded the amount appropriated by the legislature in the last biennial budget. As a result, tax assessors have been informed they will only receive 56% of the amount requested in their claim for reimbursement. To cover the shortfall, bipartisan legislation has been introduced to cover the anticipated $15 million shortfall. The approach will ensure the remaining balance of the reimbursement payments is made in a timely manner. Public hearing is Tuesday, February 13th at 2:00, State House Room 228,
Not like we didn't see that coming.
which is what all of us said when they released the information about the initial program, was it would be a mandate that wasn't fully funded.
I have a question about the budget committee schedule. Just need to be soon. Is there a schedule?
No, I was gonna talk about that during committee reports, but currently we have a 3-person budget committee. We've begged and pleaded, can't get anybody else, so we will be running with a 3-person budget committee. So I'm gonna reach out to well, there's 2 of them that were on it last year, but we'll be reaching out to the 3 of them and seeing. Hopefully, if we can get a meeting in the next week to 2 weeks to get started, because we are a couple weeks behind where we were hoping to be at this point. So, the goal is to get them a meeting definitely before the end of the month. But soon.
Okay, well, the Lake Association is applying for another watershed mitigation grant that would not be awarded till next year, but they need to have a project and a commitment in place, so they're gonna make an ask for a commitment, but we have to figure out the project in Canton first. So that's what we're talking to. Even the road canal, we talked about that briefly. Everybody's like, yeah, we have lots of things that need to be done, but nobody specifically said this road at this spot can do this work, so that's what we're trying to nail down. Reminder that next Thursday, you're coming to the planning board meeting to talk about solar as a public hearing. You guys have your working session that you said you would come here next week.
I can't be there. I have to be at a finance meeting that night.
Sure.
So
Sure.
believe me, I do like. I would like to be there, but I do have to be at a finance meeting to present a budget.
Well, I talked to Nate Austin about something else the other day and he called for something. I made sure he knew about that, because I know his dad had a piece of property that was gonna be leased and all that, so I'm sure we'll hear from.
Yep.
Always has something to say. We talked to the planning board about how to structure that meeting to keep it focused and civil, so we've got a facilitation plan
Mhm.
for that conversation.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have select board representation.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm gonna miss dessert bingo.
I will put something in writing and get it to you guys ahead of time, just so you can have my thought, but.
Okay, and we worked on the cemetery ordinance last week, and so that should be to you with revisions shortly. I think we're picking up sewer, the sewer ordinance next. So,
All right, thank you. All right, approval of the warrants, warrant number 55, 17,197.43. AP warrant number 57, 116,695.95. Payroll warrant 54, $6,760.68. Payroll warrant 56, 5,698.25.
Motion to approve is read.
Second,
I have a motion and a second. Excuse me, on the approval of the warrants, all those in favor? Public comment, Mary Ann, you have any comment?
Questions at this time, or?
Yep, we will get there here in a few minutes. Committee reports,
The only, mine's not really committee. Aaron, I'm not sure if who's doing it, but the sewer bill, any sewer billing questions do not go to Dave Madison. Cause I know he told me he'd been getting 2 or 3 calls from people that have questions about their bills, and then someone that wanted to add a person onto their household list that changes their sewer rate. And
So we've had a couple of bill additions, but they've come through the office. I have not given his number to anybody. No one's calling us to ask. So
yeah, someone, but.
somebody's jumping the line.
Okay, thank you.
I cut the bills, I mail them out, I answer the phone.
And I take the money, so, yeah. No, yeah, obviously not much is going on with cemeteries right now. So, highway, you guys have luckily had a quiet spell. I know, I don't even want to say that. But they're doing a good job on trying to get stuff back up to par.
I saw some road posters go up today.
Yes,
He was putting posters up when I left town today for a
Yep.
meeting, so.
I knew he was doing that, so. 'Tis the season already,
That is.
yay. But other than that. All's quiet on the western front.
Perfect.
baseball's starting to be planned.
Good times.
Yeah, so, I know Kim's putting the field out looking for coaches, starting to get names of interested kiddos that. Want to play, so those posts are out there. Which means spring is right around the corner. Yay! Come on, we're playing baseball.
My cows haven't started shedding yet, it's not quite here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm being hopeful.
I know,
That's about it. That's all I got.
Budget, we will be having a budget meeting shortly. We're gonna look at the calendar and figure out when. Thinking ahead, comparing the last few years with how things have gone and what we're looking at number wise. I think it'll be beneficial to have both selectmen and budget committee in the room at the same time.
Yeah.
That way, when departments come in to give their presentations on stuff, we're all hearing the information instead of having the budget committee hear the information and then a month and a half later, the selectmen get the budget, but don't have any of the backup material that goes with it. So there's really no information that comes to the selectmen other than,
my request also would be that when anybody is presenting their budget, that they have a well-written explanation.
Mhm.
For what they want, why they want, and if they have leftover money in the current year's budget, why is that? And why are they not decreasing their request? If they're not spending, then they don't need it.
it's going to be a very difficult budget year. By looking at where we were at when we set taxes the current year, we used a lot of money out of undesignated funds. The problem with that, it sets a cliff. If we can't use the same amount this coming year, then we're gonna have to increase taxes a significant amount. Which we,
Always been my concern.
that was my concern the night it got voted on, and that's why I voted no. But I think it's something that we're gonna have to seriously sit down and look at is, and our departments need to
Sharpen pencils.
sharpen their pencils and be very, cautious in what their asks are for the next year. There are things that we need, but we're gonna have to tighten our purse strings a little bit.
I think some of the wish list items are gonna have to stay wish list items.
Yep. That being said, we'll have a better idea once we actually see our 23 audit, but.
Yep.
Until then, I think we're gonna need to operate in the tighten up requests a little bit and try to still provide what we need to provide, but maybe there are things that we don't need.
So in that vein, we need to be telling our departments to start thinking budget numbers.
Yes, my recommendation would be reach out to your departments sometime this week and just let them know they need to get started on their budget numbers. And hopefully within the next week or two, we'll have a schedule
Right.
out to them for when we're gonna do budget meetings and all that kind of stuff. Even if we have to rework our meeting schedule to make it work. Whether that means we switch to one selectmen's meeting a month for the next couple months. And do a combined meeting with budget on the off night or something like that. Just so we can make sure we get everybody all the information and all that kind of stuff. But
Yep.
it is that time of year.
Worst part of spring.
Yeah, come on. Do it times 3, it's even more fun.
No.
Any office updates?
Nope.
You are the king of dry.
How's everything going?
Pretty good.
Have you heard anything on the website?
So the website had a 2FA tied to Heidi Bennett's phone.
Oh,
I'm
God.
currently going through, security measures at GoDaddy to deal with getting that sorted.
Yep.
So,
So we can get it transferred to the new one?
Yeah.
Okay,
and at that point, I will make sure that we have that stuff written down somewhere because we did not. So,
Yeah, we had a little snafu there.
yep. Perfect.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to dig through.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. I will say better you than me, so.
Probably.
Yep. Oh, good news, as long as we can get it moving forward, that's what
Yeah.
counts.
Mhm. And you've been scanning a bunch of stuff ready to upload.
Oh, yeah.
Good times.
Ooh. I have,
Oh, yeah, everybody's gonna read all those minutes from 2004 that I scanned. They're definitely going to be useful, because
some
You
people
got-
will,
Yeah, I just say, you'd
you'll be
shocked.
surprised.
I won't be surprised. Surprises me.
We've got a couple people in town that have been begging us for that for
Yeah.
a long time.
I do have a list of all of the selectmen from back, starting 1821 all the way up through that had been requested to be put on the former website, which never went anywhere. So if that's something you're interested in, I can. I know what he said.
I think it'd be great.
I think that would be pretty cool information to have on the website.
Yes.
Do you have hand-painted portraits of each of them?
I could probably do that. I'll make them up.
There's one right there.
Well, that's one. Was he the only guy?
No, I'm gonna work on the second one.
Okay. I'll sketch them in my
I'll
spare
go-
time.
I'll go call-
There you
Name
go.
only. I have no historical reference for any of these people. This is what I think he looks like.
It's a little scary. There's very little on a lot of them.
Yeah. All right, there's no other questions or comments, from the board. We have no executive session this evening. So
Make
can
a
I get
motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to
Second.
adjourn at 6:49. And a second, all in favor of adjourning? And we are
Yeah.
adjourned at 6:49.
I know.